Zambia Blog Talk Radio.
Do you want to promote your business on Zambia Blog Talk Radio? Yes, that's right. Live on Zambia Blog Talk Radio. To book your spot, just make a donation by picking from the following categories. To get started, just call or WhatsApp the number on the screen and you'll be good to go. Live on Zambia Blog Talk Radio every Saturday for 1 full month. And it will stay on the recorded shows.
Hi everybody, welcome to the first show in November. It is November the 5th, 2022. Welcome to Zambia Blog Talk Radio. Please tag a friend, tell your friends that the show has gone live. We have an exciting discussion and exciting guest today. And I do hope that you're looking forward to this show. All right, let's go and talk to the Lusaka people. Hi, Mr. K, how are you today?
I'm great, thank you. How are you, Nkaneta?
Are you ready for this?
I'm super excited.
All right. Okay, we are going to begin a series we are calling Race to the PF Presidency, and the PF did its nominations for the presidential position, I believe last week. Is that right? Last week?
Yes.
And they have come up with 8 candidates. So what we shall do, in fairness and balancing the political platform, ZBTR, we've always done this in our 14 years of existence. We shall bring all the 8 candidates here so that they share their vision and tell us what they desire to do, where they intend to take the party, and what the direction that they are going to take if they assume the presidency of the party Kasuluba, which means if you win the PF presidency, you are the presidential candidate for PF in 2026. Is that right?
Yes.
Exactly. Okay. So here we go. Our first guest today in the series of the race to the PF presidency is Mr. Greyford Monde. He is former Minister of Fisheries and Livestock, former Deputy Minister of Agriculture and Livestock, and he was also a member of parliament for Itezi. Mr. Monde, good afternoon. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nkama and Mr. Mashonga, for inviting me to this platform. And good afternoon, and the various time differences, everyone who's viewing us.
Yes, sir. Welcome. This has been an interesting situation, and I like the way you guys in PF do things. Just bang, you started the nominations, and everything just became the work. Some people were saying the notice for the nomination is too short and everything else. But let me ask you this question. You haven't really been in the limelight, so to speak, politically. And then here we see Mr. Monde going to file for presidency for the party. So what brought you to this place of deserving to serve at the highest level? And I'm particularly interested to know how that conversation went with your wife and your family.
Very well. So I've been a politician, I think, for some time now.
Yes.
And I'll outline that because but I joined the politics soon after school, just 2 years or so after high school. And
okay.
So after joining politics, to be specific, I joined the United Party for National Development, which is the ruling party now. Then in opposition under the late President Anderson Mazoka.
Yes.
And along the way, I may get time to explain how I am now in PF. So I've been a member of PF, I think, for about 9 years now. And Well, what brought me to this position is that after having looked at the activities of the past 15 months when the UPND is in power, I realized that there were so many unfulfilled promises, and that Zambia itself was becoming worse than before. We were taking many steps backwards, and for me that became a serious concern that we can't wait. I think there was a serious need for me to step in and offer myself to the country for what I'm going to explain. So when this thought came, I took a round of consultations. I started with my wife, Nancy, and she was very skeptical. And she was like, no, you know, this thing, you can't you take it, it's too labor intensive, and the politics in this country and all of that. It was this went on for a long time. Somehow
Wow.
I tried to speak to the elder sister, and one of the sisters, actually there are three older sisters, one of them believed in the vision, and they managed to convince her outside. So the next time I tried to speak about it, I realized she was softened, and we finally agreed on this. Not only did I consult with her, I also spoke to my children, and you'll wonder. These are grade 6. My firstborn son, who's just about 11 years of age, and the young sister, who's 10 years. They both, I think, at the start. In fact, the boy, only after filing in nominations, that's when he said, well, since you've gone for this thing, we will support you. The girl was excited about it. You know, she was looking at the end product.
Yeah.
She was looking at the end product. The girl was looking at the end product. The boy was looking
what was the end product to her? What was the end product?
State House. State House.
I like that.
She was looking at State House, and so I said, look, this one has a vision. So the boy also joined us. I think after filing in nomination, I think she didn't believe, because when she was at school, her friends came. No, we saw your father. We saw your father on TV. He's running for president. So that excited him, and he came and says, you know, I support you in this one. But I spoke about my siblings, my sisters, brothers. One sister of mine was telling me, no, you can't go for politics. I said, just prepare enough, just in case you know how the African system of politics, which is one of the things that is part of my vision and my resort, my stance to go into politics, that we need to change the scenario. That differing in political ideologies should not create enmity to look for each other and kill each other. So I went to consult the church too. I'm Seventh-day Adventist myself, and the Christians, so I've got many leaders of the various churches, the Catholics, the Pentecostals, and all of that. I think that they are safe. I also consulted our senior leaders in the party. And after discussing with them, I think there was the consensus that I can go ahead for this position. In a nutshell, that is how we are here.
That's good. That's very good. So I just wanted us to get that out of the way. Instead of me asking the traditional question, tell us about yourself, who's Greyford Monde? Now I'm going to ask you, who is Greyford Monde? Where in Zambia were you born? And what are you bringing to the national political debate?
Very well. So Greyford Monde is, I was born on 10th of April, 1977. And I was born in Nampundwe. My father used to work for Nampundwe Mines.
Yes.
So Nampundwe then was falling under Mumbwa district. So literally born in UTH. But you see, because when they put an address of born in Nampundwe, it takes me my NRC to Mumbwa district. So I was born in Mumbwa. And I did coming from a family of 13. These are my elder brothers, sisters, from both mom and my father. So they are half sisters, half brothers, but we're in total 13 of us. 3 are late, and the rest of us are here, we thank God. Also married to Nancy Bensaya, She comes from the East and have 3 children, 2 girls and 1 boy. My father was Mr. John Monde and my mother, Margaret Lusebo McCoy. And yes, that is basically who I am in a nutshell.
Okay. All right. Before my colleague Kasulwa comes in here, I want you to address that point which you raised in your earlier remarks, where you talked about that you started with the late Anderson Mazoka, UPND, and then what happened? What made you leave the party and go to PF?
Okay, so I joined UPND in 1999. To be specific, it was in March, and that party was formed in 1998, if I remember well, around late 1998, and under the leadership of the late President Mazoka. In 2001, I was one of the 3 candidates that were participating in the election for Itezitezi as Member of Parliament. And out of that, I think one of us was selected or adopted, who ran for an election, and unfortunately, he lost that election in 2001. So Itezitezi then became the only constituency in Southern Province at the time that did not, that UPND did not win. So everyone else, the other 2 elder brothers of mine, Godfrey Bene and the late Godfrey Nabuliato, they left the party. They literally in my hands, and I built up the party up to 2006. In 2006, when I should have been adopted, one of the 2, actually to be specific, Honorable Bene, the one who became MP in 2006, who had become a district commissioner and had left, he decided to come back to UPND. And when he came, obviously, they gave him an adoption on the premises that he was elderly, he was married, and he had the resources more than myself since he was district commissioner. I pursued the vision and never let go. In 2011, I got adopted and came to Parliament. And I think that there are so many things that I saw which did not go right with me. One of them is the fact that certain views that would give were deemed, were not even taken. So you become a member by default, and you cannot do certain things. There were lots of things, there were issues of accusations that no, he was going to be voting with this, but when they went to check, for example, the voting pattern in Parliament, I've always been voting with my party, and all of this put together, bad mouthing, for example, one of them, where they would say, no, he said this, okay, let's verify. I come out clean. No, you won this election against this person. And then he said if I was going to lose. So there were just lots of things around that. And I just decided, well, this club, I think I'm not welcome. So in the midst of this confusion, so it became very visible that there was a problem with myself and my party. And this is how, during that period, President Michael Sata, remember he was all-inclusive. And he invited a few members from the opposition to work with him. So he identified me, and when I went to take up that position as Deputy Minister of Agriculture, that did not sit well with my party. And they decided to take me to court on 4 accusations which were not founded. And this is how, end of the day, we are here. And since I was denounced there, I actually tried to fight it in court to remain a member, but I think they were resolved to have me out. And this is how, eventually, when time came for me to file in, I participated on a PF as a member of Parliament. So this is me now here as a member of Parliament, as a member of the Patriotic Front from that time to now. And you had mentioned that I went under, and now I've just come. Probably many people are surprised about this. And I was saying this to a breakfast show today on Movie TV that, look, when you are a minister, you get the limelight. You can imagine that because of this announcement.
Just when he was getting in the thick of things.
Okay, that was a very critical point he was about to make there. Okay, you're watching ZBTR TV, and hope you have told your friend. Okay, here he comes. He's back. Okay, go
Sorry,
ahead.
something had gone wrong. Thank you very much. So there was a time. There was a time when I was minister, would receive, when you're a minister or in a certain position of advantage, there will be lots of these calls, come for interviews, come for this program. So I was not per se not active, only that as PF, we also believe that we support those in leadership. So those our colleagues who took over offices after us needed our support. Some of the statements they were making, we were doing them together in the background. How did you work on these vet camps? I would do my input in there, and they'll broadcast it. So I've been available in mobilization of the party at the grassroots level in various structures. So I was not completely out. I think that only that this time now, I've decided to take this role. That's why you see now my visibility is here. And also regarding my of nominations, obviously, it's my right, first of all, to go for any position in my club, and later on go for presidents as a. So those are some.
Okay, Wi-Fi challenge.
Very well.
Connectivity issues.
Zikta. Okay, he's back. Go ahead, Mr. K.
Yes, I'm back here. Yes.
Okay.
So basically, that's what it is.
Okay.
So my coming to this position is to bring a complete different type of politics in my view. First of all, you know that there's I feel that in this country there's a lot of disunity. I want to come into this politics and become a unifier of both my political party and the country at large.
Excellent. Okay.
So it's
been raining in Lusaka. I hope it's not the rains that are affecting.
It's raining in Lusaka.
It's been raining, yes.
Okay. It's frozen. Okay. When it comes back, you can pick it up from there, Mr. K. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. There we go. Good afternoon, Mr. Patel. Thank you for joining us. And Joshua, good afternoon to you from Mondola. And hello, our favorite sister from the United Kingdom. Miss Tandy, hello. Let's wait for him to come back so that Mr. Kasulova can ask his the ensuing of after the question. Our guest this morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're watching us, is Mr. Greyford Monde. He is one of the PF presidential candidates. All right, you there, Mr. Monde? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Sorry about that disruption.
I would like to take you back quickly, Mr. Monde, because there's something that you said that really excited me, I would say, because when you were asked to say, how did your family take it that you wanted to run for PF presidency, as well as possibly lead Zambia in the future? You consulted not only your wife, but your children as well. If, your son is 11, right?
Yes.
Did he give a reason as to why he didn't want you to to lead the PF, to be nominated?
Yeah. So for my son is a shy. Okay, so he's a young man.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's a young man. That is quite very shy. Not too much in public activities. He's even photo. So for him, he was looking at issues to do, like when you take over this, when you take this role. First of all, you may not be available. You'll be too busy for us, and yeah, then we'll all be in public domain. So he wants his quiet side. So basically, I think, but I understand. I think it was age, but I think he eventually became excited when his friends spoke to him about the few interviews that they've seen us on television and maybe to radio, on Facebook, and all of that social media programs. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, great. In your previous point, you had made mention as to the reason why you left the UPND, some of which being maybe false accusations as to utterances which you never made. Coming to the same, most politicians actually are accused of name shaming and not bringing much to the table. So how do you wish to defy this or do it differently?
Okay, so for me, I think that the political participation, I don't take it so light. And in my view, I think that anyone who's vying for such positions must actually live above board. It's not a social club. And if you find a political party that want to postpone services now through sabotaging provisions of services that whichever government is providing, that political party is not worth existing. And so if I'm in the opposition the way we are now, and we see that government is performing well, my role is not to do name shaming, especially as a modern politician. Let me put it in inverted commas. For me, I think is to commend them. Had we gotten to a point where this current government having to perform, would not want to challenge them. But we have come to a point where this government has completely deviated away from the promises that they had given to this country. And so, and this is where now there is a thin line between politicizing and the name shaming, as you have put it. Because then certain governments, when you criticize them that you promised this and you are not doing it, they tend to begin to say that we are bitter, we are envious, we are jealousy, and yet what we are talking about is life-saving. So you know the long list of what this government had promised the people, which has not come to fruition. And this is one of the reasons why some of us have said, I think we're going to step in here and give and offer ourselves to the country. That
it's the weather in Lusaka. Probably that's affecting the
most
network.
likely.
It's raining a lot.
It rained quite heavily, yes. I think part of the night into the early mornings. Yeah.
Let's check on what our viewers are saying. Crispin says he's watching from Lusaka. We have Wonyambe from Itezi. Hi, Mr. Nyambe. Great hearing from you. Hope you make the people in Itezi know that their former MP is on. And I agree as well to what he's saying, which I saw Mr. Monde, this comment. I think we really need a youthful leader to take up the not only the party leadership, but as well as the country. I agree with that. That's why I brought him here. To be honest with you, I even told him behind the scenes, I said, for me, and that's the reason I'm starting with him, we shall bring all of them here, or what's the name? Mr. Chitalu and all those who have already featured on this show, they are not coming back. Mwamba, what's his name? All those other guys. I only bring those that have never been here before. So that's what we are going to do here, because we do not want to drag the whole thing. When is the convention, Kasuluba? Is it March?
I need to get the dates again for that one.
Okay, I think it should be March. Yeah, I think it should be March. That's when the convention is, and it's very important that we engage all the political parties, which we have done here. And for democracy purposes and to have a balance in the governance process of our country, we need to engage all the political parties. Doesn't matter how, whatever has happened or whatever you feel, democracy is democracy. And we need to give everybody a platform to what, just chat with him a little bit in the background, and let's see what is going on there. All those that are joining us, and everybody listening, we are talking to Mr. Greyford Monde, and we do appreciate everybody. Share the link, the YouTube link, so that people can listen to this formidable young leader and hear what he has to say. We want to know what does he have on his heart, on his mind, and so that we also just get to know him. These things are important, by the way, because very soon, those of you watching in the diaspora, you'll soon be voting. So, and we are not, okay, he's back, Mr. K. Let's come back here. Monde, I hope it's not easy playing games here.
I'm not really very sure what is happening, and we're even trying to think it's our connectivity, but I think everything is in order. I don't know what's happening.
Okay, all right. Continue what you were saying.
Yes. So I think that in politics, we need to get to a point where people must be realistic and be able to be fair to the citizens, for providing the services that we get to promise these people when we get into offices. And this is why myself, when I look at when I was trying to answer that question regarding what prompted me to come in, I think that I want to bring hope to the people. That politics is not just a club. I think it is an organization for delivering services to the people. Otherwise, everyone in a country is supposed to be a leader, but spaces of seats will be limited to the available offices. Take, for example, presidents. There can only be one president at a time. And so when you become a president, it's not for you to think that you are the alpha and the omega. It's not for you to start to think that you are a boss to the country. So a president is supposed to be a servant of the people, okay? A president must not think that he's bigger than Zambia. A president must not think that he owns the people. In fact, it's the other way around. A president is owned by the people. But you see, unfortunately, we get presidents think that they are above everyone and all of that. So I think for me in politics, really, I think it's a service that we are supposed to provide, to unify, to give hope to the women that usually are deemed not equal to a man. And so even when distributing positions, they'll say, no, give. Okay, the deputy positions are always best for a woman. You know, my coming in is to bring hope to the youths. You see, the youths.
All right, what we shall do is let's take a break here so that as Mr. Monde tries to resolve those issues behind the scenes.
Do you want to promote your business on Zambia Broad Talk Radio? Yes, that's right. Live on Zambia Broad Talk Radio. To book your spot, just make a donation by picking from the following categories. To get started, just call or WhatsApp the number on the screen and you'll be good to go. Live on Zambia Broad Talk Radio every Saturday for 1 full month. And it will stay on the recorded shows.
Our guest today is Mr. Greyford Monde. He's a presidential candidate for the PF presidency, and we are discussing with him about his vision and how he intends, which direction he intends to take the party should he win the presidency. Those of you who would like to advertise on Zambia Blog Talk Radio, we do that. You can get in touch with us. The numbers are scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Mr. Monde, we're going to make this happen. Whether you have internet or Wi-Fi issues there, we shall make it happen. Let's ask this question. This is a very critical question. What is your vision if you take over the realms of the party?
So my vision, actually, let me say that I've got two priorities. Number one, like I've said, is that I want to see a strong united, a country where when a president leaves, he should not be an immediate target of the ones that take over. And I think that this trend is now so much growing in this country and it must be stopped. I don't want to believe that when Dr. Kaunda, late Dr. Kaunda left the presidency, that he immediately became that evil, that bad, to an extent. You know that he was imprisoned, persecuted in all manner of terms. He was almost shot there in Kabwe. They shot at him in Kabwe because of the new government that came in power. And if you follow, when he left, when Chiluba left, so Chiluba was on Kaunda. When Chiluba left, you know that his successor, late President Mwanawasa, was on his throat, literally. The man died miserable. You see, so you ask yourself, what crime are presidents making that cannot be prosecuted while they're in office? When, in fact, for Mwanawasa, I've always said that for Mwanawasa, because he died in office, then he was not pursued. I want to believe that if he was alive, he would have been pursued by whoever, whether his political party or the other political party that took over, he would have been pursued. Then here was Rukia Banda, who came after Mwanawasa. You know that our party also went for him. We removed his immunity, okay? And I'm speaking as a corporate here. We removed his immunity and all that type of, court cases, though it was short-lived, I think we moved on quickly. You see, then late President Michael Sata took over. Yes. I'm not sure whether even him, but I believe so much that if he was alive, whoever was going to take over office, is possible now with that trend that he was going to be followed. Okay? Now, this is worrisome for us as young people. And after Sata has left, here we are today. President Lungu is being pursued, is being called names, is being victimized, is being searched, even by small boys who are wearing those cut jeans. They come at any time, they will interfere with his freedom. They will
Maybe what we can do is we can just have his voice and remove. Okay, here he comes.
Okay.
On the other
So he's being pursued right now, and I can tell you that when President Hakainde Hichilema leaves office, the possibility of him being pursued, go through this persecution, is above 80%. But I want to tell you that this is what I, Greyford Monde, will not be able to do. When I become president, this will be stopped. Whether this regime here makes their mistakes, they do whatever they want to do during my term as president, we will stop this cycle. It's just bringing hatred to this country. And we'll begin on a fresh page where I will talk to these law enforcement organs. When they come to report to me that Honorable Nkombo, who's Minister of Local Government now, did XYZ, pursue him, I'll tell them, no, but where were you? Because we've always had these government organs are non-political. Why are they not pursuing sitting government officials? Why are they not pursuing ministers? Why are they not pursuing presidents? Even if they've got immunity, they can do whistle blowing. We've seen this happening in many countries where a president can even resign. You see? But why are they not doing that while a person is in the office? And yet they are every day living on the government and the citizens' resources, taxpayers' money. And yet they'll be waiting until you leave office. So for me, when I take over, I will talk to these people and tell them, begin to investigate now. If you don't investigate us, you'll be the one who will tell the next leadership that we were corrupt. So start now by investigating me as president, investigate my vice president, investigate my ministers, and all senior government officials. Don't do a backlog and wait for when people have left, then you want to start pursuing them. It's not a correct position. So for me, two things.
Yes.
That we need to get a united Zambia. We must stop the cycle of hatred, a cycle of bitterness, and following up after people that took you or people that you've taken over from. Those ones you were competing in politics. Those, when people are competing, it's just a competition. When you win, you win. Start to work, get to work, achieve your promises. Once that is done, I want to see, one of my visions is to create a cadre of billionaires in dollars for this country. That I want to happen. When we get a united Zambia without ethnical divisions, okay, who complement each other. Those who are in the areas where there's copper or mineral resources, rich mineral resources, the people in Northwest, the people in the copper belt must contribute to this country by bringing resources in one basket. Those who are in the maize belts, they must be able to be supported to produce enough stock for feeding not only Zambia, but even our neighbors. We have approximately 300 million people around Zambia. Zambia, who is landlocked with 8 neighbors. So when we unite and we produce and become one strong team, we are likely to become a strong economy, not only in the region, but even in Africa. You know that Zambia is, according to study that I checked, is number 4th in terms of the richest African nation in natural resources. So we'll tap into these resources and be able to do this. So I want to see, as I leave presidents, that we have created billionaires in dollars. That I want to see. Billionaires in dollars. And this is the attainable. We can't be talking so cheap. There are people in Africa here, certain countries in this continent that have 2-3 billionaires, and they run the economy. And just the private sector empowered who produce more people to get jobs compared to what government will give. So to boast about 30,000 teachers, private sector alone can employ in hundreds of thousands of people. So we must not be targeting Zambians that are seemingly doing well. Okay? So I want to see, when I leave the presidency, that we should be counting maybe even 100 billionaires in dollars. And this is attainable. You can imagine that our neighbors here, for example, even Zimbabwe, you've got one of the big billionaires, is it Musiwa or the IT man? Okay?
Yes, the one who runs the cell phone company.
Yes, you see?
Quick question, Mr. Monde.
He started from...
Okay, maybe just finish on that point, and then I have a quick question. Mr. Monde?
Yes.
Okay, just you may just finish on that point.
Just ask the question, Kasulu. Go ahead and ask the question.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my question is, you talked about doing away with following former presidents and persecuting them, in your words. How are you going to ensure that some of the arms, like the judiciary, are independent?
You heard the question, Mr. Monde? I think it's frozen.
That the judiciary is independent?
Yeah.
Yes.
So he was talking about the...
Yes. So I was saying, this is similar to what we were discussing last weekend, if I'm not mistaken. We find that the head of the judiciary, for example, is appointed by the head of state. And so some of these issues are quite not... you can't bite the hand that feeds you. So when you become, or if you become president, how are you going to ensure that some of these arms of the government are independent? That is the only way that a sitting, for example, president or a minister can be persecuted when they have done something wrong.
Yes, true. You see, I think that the first point is we need to look at the commitment of an individual towards making this happen. And you know that Zambia has been going through a lot of constitutional amendments, you know, and the current one that we are using now, we know that it has a lot of gaps. When I take over as a president, I think one of the first things we're going to do is to relook at this constitution and allow the country to redo this one by way of putting together. I feel that we have got the content. What we need is just to agree on certain articles, on certain points. There was a call in the previous
Mr. Kasulova.
Constitutional appointed independently, not through presidential appointments. I think further to that, what we need to do also is to quickly be able, and I want this really to happen, since it looks like it's been really an issue. We need to reduce the powers of a president. Presidents actually get tired and they've got so much to do. Some of their roles are supposed to be given to some different people to do. So what we need to do this is to make sure that these organs, for example, the judiciary, can still be appointed outside the presidential powers. But be as it is now, we have also seen how that during the time that we were in power as PF, the judiciary was completely independent. The Electoral Commission was completely independent, and there was no interference. We had many cases of ministers losing in the courts. We had many cases of members of parliament from the ruling losing their petitions. And I was one of them that lost a petition in the courts. I can't see that happening in this current government. So again, it goes back to the appetite of a president in power. How much does he want to do? If you get a president who wants to interfere in all the organs of government, those that are critical, then you get to this point where we are at now. So this is one of the problem that is there. And because of that, you see there is a selective way in which they want to punish people. So if you are from the opposition, anything that you say, you are called upon and you get to be punished. They'll bundle you in a vehicle and drive you 1,000 kilometers from Lusaka. You see, they will just tell a small boy who's sitting in Mpika, or not even Mpika, maybe in Mpulungu or in Mwinilunga, and they tell him, no, can you report Monde that he said this? Where? Kabompo. You heard what happened to President Saboy? And immediately they call you, bundle you in a car, drive you all the way. And that I've said, that's not correct. In fact, that for those ones of you like Mr. like Mr. Nkama, that you saw that only in UNIP time, where Kaunda would be bundled from Muchinga, Chinsali, taken to a prison in Mwinilunga. That's why there's that monument. Okay, by our colonial masters. They will pick in Aluminumbia from Western Province, bundle him, take him to a place that he doesn't even know, no relations and whatsoever. This is what is coming right now. So it is also the appetite. There's too much appetite on power. Too much appetite on power. And you can't govern people with a fist. I think Zambia is a democratic country. So we needed to give this to the people. And that is what Greyford is going to offer once voted in 2026.
Okay. There we have about some minutes remaining here. Many Zambians, Mr. Monde, have stated that the PF deviated from what President Sata stood for. What are some of his policies, if any, do you wish to implement if in power?
Well, to the contrary, I think that that assertion that PF, after late President Michael Sata, deviated from President Sata's policies would not be correct, because you remember that when President Lungu was asked what was his vision, he said, no, I don't have a vision. My vision is the PF vision. And this is why you see that President Sata was president only exactly 3 years and a month, but under 2 months, because he died in October or 28th of October, 4 days after independence. But the remaining large part of the PF was under President Edgar Lungu. And you know that many projects came up or were implemented after President Michael Sata had died. So you have certain, for example, there was a talk under the Link 8,000, where we were to do 8,000 kilometers of road. We did 7,000 of that 8,000. Bridges like the Mount Kalabo Road, which was the most expensive road in the region, and the Marvel, was done and completed by President Edgar Lungu. These modern airports, and you know, kudos to the PF, even if people don't want to recognize that we delivered. The KKIA was recently nominated one of the best, actually the best airport. I don't know whether it's in Africa, but I think in the world. Okay, so
Africa.
So all of those projects were done in Africa. Was that Africa?
In Africa, yeah.
Yeah. So you can actually see that we continued with the vision of President Michael Sata, and this is why we're also saying that whichever one of the 8 of us that is going to be elected president at our General Assembly or General Conference, we will pick up from where we ended. We already have a manifesto 2021-2026. Again, the PF is very organized. You know, many political parties in the opposition would not even advertise for a position like presidents. They will just do it in-house and just call 1 or 2 people to vie positions like deputy president, and they've never really been democratic to float or to be challenged for their presidential position.
Let me cut you short,
as
Mr.
you've seen, we have 8.
Now, a lot of people have also said, most of the citizens have argued to say, it's under President Lungu that things, the rule of law and things like that went south. Kadarism became and got at its worst. Let me play a video clip for you, and I want you to respond to this. Okay, I want you to respond to this.
Yes.
Let's play this video clip, and then I want you to respond to this.
Ilianina family stop sana Jofit.
Wow.
Kuno equation telia PF.
Yes.
Ekwa fialilwe PF.
Yes.
Kanju muntu ulionsafulo kuchiwa kuti kuno ekukati kwa PF.
Yes.
Uyo wasalo kuya kumbi nishimu kwa aitanisha. Jofile mkwa.
Yes.
Soba komanda bonse na mitasha. Mwalanga pa butatutu ukuti mwana wako alungwai.
Yes.
Na chimoneka pa butatutu.
Wagwa.
Let me stop it right there. I know that that's one of your colleagues who's standing for this presidency as well. In that video clip, Mr. Monde, he uses a term, he says, commander. Those are some of the things the people of Zambia don't want to hear, Mr. Monde.
Yes.
And the point I was trying to make to you before we went to the video clip is that most people believe that it was under Edgar Chagwalungu that things went really bad into the country. How do you intend to address the cadarism issue?
The issue of cadarism comes out very clear, and that after losing power, people have complained about cadarism. You've also heard and you've seen our president, former president Lungu, condemning cadarism in the strongest terms, and he was really irritated by the cadarism that took place. And anytime there was a report in this regard, he would come out in the open and just condemn it. But
okay.
You see, like in a house, there'll be times when you as will end up just hearing that your son is doing XYZ, and youths in their state sometimes get excited. And so this is one thing that we're grappling around with. But I can also tell you that without really having to shift the gun, the levels of agitation that came as a result, and just the levels of lies and propaganda that was created was so much alarming. And this is the reason why today Zambians, when they compare how PF behaved and how UPND is behaving today, you can actually see that PF in this whole game of cadarism, this whole game of interfering in activities, PF comes out as a very small baby compared to these ones. You saw what happened in Mukushi when he just were filing in of we had about 21 by-elections, and I see our colleagues celebrating that they have won. PF has only won 2 of the 21 seats. I mean, what do you expect? There was too much cadarism. Our people were stopped. Some of our candidates were literally stopped from filing nominations by UPND cadres. They were stopped. In Lusangazi is a perfect case. They just sent the police to stop our candidate from entering the polling station. Our media director, Honorable Nakachinda, was literally survived death. They came around him, those cadres, in the sight of the police, causing terrible confusion, and we ended up fielding in a candidate that the UPND wanted in place of our preferred candidate. They did this in Kabushi, they did this in Kwacha. So there is more cadarism now. And that time, there would be also this technology mix where people, because of propaganda, they would wear maybe PF t-shirts and do whatever. But all in all, I don't really want to point a finger, only to say that we, and you know that even our acting president did mention that we have reflected and we have now seen where we have erred. As we come in 2026, We are coming as a repented people. This you have heard us mention as a party. And we have seen where wrongs that we had made. And now we are prepared. We are coming with a brand new team of cadres that are going to respect the citizens. You know the definition of a cadre. A cadre is not a violent person.
No, cadre is not a negative. Cadre is not a negative terminology. It's in Zambia where it has been distorted. You are right. I agree with you.
That's true. So we will come with the cadres that are going to respect the citizens and say these are the people that put us in power. So that when you are in trouble, you are about to be robbed by someone, and you see a cadre of the PF, you actually feel, wow, it's like you've seen the police to assist you. So such is what we are going to bring on board. We will not say that we will not need cadres. We will need disciplined cadres that are going to support the party.
Excellent. Okay. Mr. Monde, as we wind up our discussion here, probably the final question to you would be, this is about party presidency. Should you win the party presidency, you'll be the presidential candidate for the Patriotic Front in the 2026 general elections. Okay. What type of campaign should the nation expect from you? What are the issues are we going to be hearing from Mr. Monde's message during your campaign?
Yeah, so what people are going to hear is that we will unify this country, and that the one Zambia, one nation will not just be a talk before news on ZNBC. This will be real. You know, someone was telling me that the meaning of Lewanika, who's our king in Western Province, is a unifier. So we will unify this country. That message will be top on our agenda. They will hear a message of complete economic boom in this country. You know, they will hear a message that Zambians, despite their background, wherever they come from, they occupy positions of government without having to look at what is their surname. That is going to happen. We know now that there are certain positions, there are certain people that cannot sit in certain seats because they'll be perceived from this region. And I've also heard claims that even during our time, that there were people that were victimized and that they felt that they were not part of Zambia. So this, I can tell you that there will be no contracts for a political party cadre only. Contracts will be given to all Zambians. As long as we're Zambian, you qualify to receive any contract of whatsoever. And that we will look forward to getting Zambians, you know, get a larger stake in the economy of our country. So Zambians must participate in big contracts who enhance our citizens' empowerment policy, so that you cannot just come and do anything you want to do without having to work with a Zambian. And not just on paper, but in real terms. A Zambian must have a stake in the businesses of this country by getting 50% going up. At least that way we'll be empowering our people. That is what the Zambians are going to hear as we campaign going to 2026.
Excellent, excellent. Let me just show you one message here from, what's his name? Enoch says the issue of cadres is a serious matter and it must be sincere and sorted out. This issue needs to be sorted out. Mr. Monde, we thank you for taking the time. I'm sorry that you had a little technical issues, but I think the general message has been communicated and the people have heard your heart about what we should expect should Mr. Greyford Monde become president of PF and a presumptive presidential candidate in the 2026 general elections. We wish you all the best, and your final word to the people watching, PF supporters, whether they should vote for you.
Here, let me speak to our PF members that are going to vote, including citizens, because as a party, it's twofold. We are getting a candidate at our convention or our general conference.
When is it, by the way? When is the general conference?
It's coming at the end of March 2023.
Okay.
So the process is, of course, it's an intra-party election, but I want to tell you that the party or the leaders of the party live in this community, and so they are also hearing the views of the public. So this message then therefore goes to both the public and our PF members that here I am as Greyford Monde offering myself for this mammoth big position, which will require everyone's support. And to achieve this before, during, and even after, we will need the support of all Zambians, the youth out there. I want to say to you that you have an opportunity now to get a young president in the State House and run government. You have an opportunity to interact with me. And I did mention at one forum that the others called themselves Bali. I call myself your guy. So I am that guy who is your guy. You can freely mingle, you can freely consult, you can freely criticize without having to be taken into prison. Let me also say that we as a party, we distance ourselves, or as myself, as a candidate, will not support any cadarism that is going to affect the lives of our people. We will not support anyone that is going to be vulgar and use bad language to our leaders, because we respect these seats. But also I want to encourage our members that the loss in these by-elections, we should not make us feel discouraged, because we all know that it was not a fair playing field. So they were themselves. This was not even the one-party state where there was vote yes, and then the other side they put a frog. This was even worse than that. So it was their election. And we as a peacemaking political party, we tried to restrain ourselves from violence, and you saw what had happened. So I want to ask for support from everyone that you may consider me out of my other colleagues, the 7 of them, to run for this, because I've got the experience, I'm still youthful. You can use my energies to run around and put the economy in place. That's what I'll be asking.
Excellent. That was our show for today. One of the PF presidential party president candidates, Mr. Greyford Monde, joining us today, and we wish him all the best. All right, so next week, 2 quick announcements here. Here in the US, Kasuluba, we are changing the time. You know, we do that clock thing. So that means the time the show will be starting in Zambia is changing. I think now we'll be coming at 1700 hours in Zambia. And I think in the UK, I need to check it out what will happen, those in the UK, and in the Western Pacific, those that watch us from Australia, all right? So let's just watch, follow us on social media so that you see all these changes. Zambia Blog Talk Radio on Facebook, ZBTR TV on YouTube, and Zambia Blog Radio on Twitter. Okay, Mr. K, that was our show. I really hope Mr. Monde wins. I want him to win. We need a young president. Yes, I'm telling you. We need a young president. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We shall see you next week on Saturday, 1700 hours in Zambia. Pay attention to that.
Do you want to promote your business on Zambia Blog Talk Radio? Yes, that's right. Live on Zambia Blog Talk Radio. To book your spot, just make a donation by picking from the following categories. To get started, just call or WhatsApp the number on the screen, and you'll be good to go. Live on Zambia Blog Talk Radio every Saturday for 1 full month, and it will stay on the recorded shows.
Zambia Blog Talk Radio.